everyone. We are at PAX Unplugged 2024. So PAX Unplugged, I feel like, is a little different from other board game conventions. This is like basically number 3 as far as scale goes. There's Gen Con, and then there's the Eschen Spiel, which is in Germany, and then I would say PAX Unplugged. And this one is, I would say, it's like my favorite because it's a little smaller, but you still have all of the big people here, all of the games, and they just keep it. It's sold out this weekend, but it doesn't feel crazy overcrowded, crazy busy, and you're just going to be able to sit down. They have a huge playing area that we'll stop by that you can just play a bunch of games as soon as you buy them. And so it's all around Christmas time, and so it's really festive, and it's just a lot of fun.
Hey everybody, what's up? My name's Mackenzie.
And I'm Jonathan.
We are husband and wife, and we'd like to welcome you to Paradise.
And we just got back from PAX Unplugged, which is the second largest board game convention in the United States, and it's our home convention here in the Northeast.
Good. We have a big goal of reaching 10,000 subscribers, so if you can go ahead and hit and like that subscribe button, it really does mean the world to us. Now, with all that being said, if you want to learn about PAX Unplugged, then just keep watching.
Cool. Okay, we can start with the haul. So the first couple things that we were excited to pick up, I picked up Dune, Imperium, Bloodlines over there on that first day. That is the latest expansion to Dune, Imperium. Heard it was going to be hot. Heard they weren't going to have a whole lot of copies, though later in the day, actually, they still had quite a few copies left. So curious to hear what people think of it once they get a taste of it. You know, we've got Uprising now and all these different versions of Dune Imperium, so people have different opinions about what to do with expansions. I love the game, so I was excited to pick up more content for it.
Next up, I'm going to choose randomly Boop the Halls, which was a big hit at the con. I saw a lot of people walking around with it. Is you familiar with Boop or Boop, which is their Halloween themed? Boop the Halls is the Christmas edition of the game Boop, where you're trying to line kittens up in a row, but this time we are on a 3-dimensional Christmas tree, which has a whole nother layer to it. I said in our PAX preview video, three layers to it. I said in our PAX preview video that I was excited to pick this up, and we did, and it just adds like another thinkiness layer to it. And it also has this element where you can also knock other cats' ornaments off the tree, the other players, which adds this hilarious twist.
Yeah, and it's super cute too. There's a Jacob Meowly expansion.
Yeah. So which one to get? The theme you like the best. If you want the hardest one, probably Boop the Halls.
Another Christmas game we had was Horrified Krampus. So this is a brand new promotional with purchase of like World of Monsters or Greek Monsters, which are Horrified games. You get Krampus, the figure who basically runs around kidnapping children and ruining Christmas as he does. And you have to try to guide those children to safety with St. Nicholas, who's also running around the board and can also be kidnapped by Krampus. So it's just a whole lot of chaos and running away from this scary monster.
Yeah, speaking of Krampus, Ravensburger actually had a cosplayer of Krampus himself was at the booth. So I got to talk to him about his thoughts on the game.
I'm here with Krampus himself. Now, Krampus, what do you think about this becoming you being in a board game?
It's a very important thing to have with the board game. Best thing that's ever happened to board games ever.
Best thing ever?
Yeah.
Yeah? Have you gotten a chance to play it yet?
Yeah, I won.
You won?
Yeah.
What do you think how do you feel like you're misunderstood as Krampus, or what do you think?
I think I'm well understood. I want you to have a terrible Christmas every year.
Okay, all right. And what are you going to be, what are your plans for this holiday season?
I'm going to poop down your chimney. I'm going to pull your hair. And I'm going to haunt your nightmare, kid.
And heads up, later this week, we are going to be having a giveaway for Krampus expansion. So if you want to see that, make sure to stay tuned for our 5 holiday games.
Hey guys, my name is Danny. I'm the marketing manager for North America for Ravensburger. We're here at PAX Unplugged, and I just want to mention some of the fun events that we had going on and still going on throughout the weekend. So yesterday we had our 2nd annual Villainous Tournament. We have a brand new winner. It would be really cool to have the Gen Con winner and the PAX Unplugged winner come together hopefully at some point. But that was fun. We had about 40 participants, and it came down to King Candy versus King Candy again. And that was very exciting. He got the Golden Cauldron. We also ran a Ho-Ho Horrified holiday party where people could come, be festive. We had Santa hats. We also had Krampus cosplayer walking around introducing our Krampus promo as a gift with purchase for Horrified, World of Monsters, and Greek Monsters. And then today we have a party game gauntlet where you get to play all of the different party games that Ravensburger has, including Oh My Pigeons, Strike, and Pinata Blast. So we're having a blast here. Hopefully we'll see you around. If not, we hope you had a great PAX Unplugged and hope to see you around.
Next up on our list, we have Art Society. Now, this is a game that we picked up, bought with our own money. We were super excited about. It is an auction bidding game where you're trying to bid for modern art, classic art, all these kind of art pieces that you are going to put onto your player board and arrange in a certain way. Honestly, I don't know a whole lot about it other than that we've had a ton of friends annoying us for months on end saying, you have to try this game,
Like,
you have to get it.
what do you mean you haven't played Art Society? And we tried to get it at Gamma and at Gen Con, and it was sold out. But we picked up a copy this time, so I'm excited.
It has a dual layered front cover where you've got inlaid pictures, and it has a felt
That's what I was about to say. It has a very a niche felt insert. So I'm excited to play it. I mean, that's totally my style. Up next, this is another game that we bought, and that is Masters of Crime Shadows. Now, we just released one of our favorite games that we played the most last month, and that was Masters of Crime Vendetta. And so I was like, Jonathan, I really want to pick up another one of these because it is this awesome escape room in a box. It's super interactive. Masters of Crime Vendetta was awesome. You get to email people and they'll email you back. You get to call people, they'll leave you a voicemail. It's
like a murder mystery type.
Murder mystery escape room. And in this one, we are actually playing as the art thieves trying to get away with the crime. So I'm excited to play this. I'm probably going to try and play it over the holidays.
Next up, we have SETI, or Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence. This is a brand new game from Czech Games, and oh man, it was a blast. It really hit well with our group. We played it with 3 players. And basically you're orbiting around our solar system, going out to Mars, Jupiter, whatever, and you're putting basically orbiting these sensors that are going to go look for extraterrestrial life. Eventually we'll discover 2 alien races who then start messing with us, which is super weird for a Euro, but kind of cool. But yeah, we really enjoyed our first play. We had this crazy rubber banding where we'd have totally different strategies and our points would be shooting everywhere. And we ended within a couple points of each other, which was super cool.
Up next is a game that we were showed to that I was really excited about by All Play, and that is Twinkle Twinkle, where you are making constellations in the sky of all these different stars. It is a tile placement game where you try and get different sets, different places to put different stars, different black holes, all these different requirements that you get points from. And it has really cute acrylic tiles that are see-through. We were trying to convince them and they were talking about making them glow in the dark soon.
Seems possible. When this campaign comes out, tell them it has to be glow in the dark.
Yes.
We're gonna make it happen.
It is a lighter game, but I had a lot of fun playing this. And so if you like the all play style games, if it's a little lighter, it says 8+, but honestly I think I could play younger than that, but it's a really cute, and you get such a pretty picture at the end of the game.
Cool. Next up, we have White Castle Matcha. Oh man, White Castle has come back to bite us with its tiny, amazing box size. This will not fit. This new expansion adds on a whole new board. I am so excited. I love this game. White Castle is such a fast, you get 9 turns the whole game, and it's crazy tight dice placement, Euro. Love it. Yeah, big fan. Next up, we have Tether. Now, this is a game that I actually backed on Kickstarter a while ago, and for the first time in my life, forgot to fill out the survey, so I picked it up at the booth. But this is a 2-player head-on-head card game where you sit across from each other, and whatever numbers you play, it's the opposite number for the other person, so 97, 79, and you're trying to chain numbers together, and you get this cool kind of chained numbered effect. And I remember there was a really fun sort of puzzle around it that I'm very excited to explore. So
yes, and
honestly,
this is
yeah.
From an indie publisher, How to Steam Broccoli. Now, the next section that we're going to be doing is going to be all party games. For some reason, that seemed to be a big thing this year.
Such good party games. These are so good.
A lot of party games. So this next section will be that. So I'm going to start with I'm Kind of a Big Dill, which is by Grant Lyon and Adam Bain.
Hey, I'm kind of a big deal.
which is a really cute party game where you're going to get a topic, and then you have to draw a meter on how well you have to say that you are at this topic or how bad you are based on how you actually are. For example, mine was, we got to play it and it was like, how well do you like dogs? Well, obviously I created a game about dogs, but then I got +3. So I had to like really ham it up. I had to try and convince people that like I don't even have pictures of my own child, and I just have pictures of my dog. So it's really cute, really funny. We got a chance to play this and sit down with people and got to play with other content creators, which was a lot of fun.
Next up was my favorite party game that we played the whole weekend, I think, and that was Blank Slate Challenge. So I actually like Blank Slate. It's a fun party game where basically you get, dance blank, and then everybody has to put dance moves, dance class, dance shoes, whatever they want to put. And so they're going to put whatever word they think everyone else is going to put, and then they hold up their whiteboards and you get points based on how many people guessed your answer. Now, Blank Slate Challenge is specifically like the ideal double date couples game. So this is like two couples, 2-on-2, where you have 2 answers. So you're going to fill in 2 answers. Your top one you're very confident about. Your bottom one you're less confident about. You'll score 3 and 1 point based on if you match. So you're either getting 6 or 4 or 2 points based on if you both wrote the same word. Now, I played this as well at the Ops party and had a ton of fun. We had a really funny moment where we had Care Blank, and everyone put Care Bear as their first one, and my partner and I put Care Full and just had a dash full, which isn't even a word, but we both did it, so we got points. I don't know, it's a whole lot of fun.
This is Wonky, which is the unstable party game. So the basic idea with Wonky is that you're going to be building this tower and you don't want to be the person that causes it to fall over. So you're going to be playing cards out of your hands, which are telling you which ones that you have to stack. You can play it safe, or you can try and do it a little hard one so that it's more likely.
Make it wonky.
Yeah, so that it's harder more likely for that other person to cause it to fall. If you like Jenga but want to play a super fast version of it,
Yeah.
Wonky.
Next up is Tapple, After Dark Tapple. So if you've ever played Tapple before, basically it's this round little gadget that we hit a button in the middle and you get a hot potato timer that gives you like a couple seconds.
Yeah.
And you have to come up with a word in the category, click the letter that word starts with, and then hit the hot potato timer in the middle.
I'm pretty sure we did this in a Party Games That Don't Suck video.
Yeah, Tapple's a great game. But anyway, they have made an After Dark edition, and it is wonderful. Honestly, we had a lot of fun with it. This is going to be super popular in parties, I think. Of course, we played with drugs as a topic, and one of the people was like super innocent and was like, penicillin, Tylenol.
It was you, wasn't it?
It wasn't me, actually. I got out in the first round because I
Excuses.
couldn't think of anything.
Oh.
Now, you've actually played this one. I have not. So
So this
can you
is
tell us about this?
Dadada. I got to play this at Gamma. So this is basically a game where we're kind of like cavemen or babies, where we're trying to like communicate to each other by using different words, varieties of like sounds and images to create a wacky language to get your point across. It kind of seems like charades, but you can talk, but you can't, but you have to use a made-up language. So it's very funny, very cute, and you're trying to get the other person to understand what you're saying.
Next up, we have Flip 7. Now, I have a little promotional copy here, but everybody else who bought this at the convention got a big box copy version of it. And honestly, I have no idea how to play it, and I have no idea what it's about. But what I do know is that it's sold out, and everybody I saw was carrying this around. So what's the deal, people? Tell me why Flip 7's amazing.
For a game that I think the title is pretty boring, I'm excited to play it, and everyone was like, "Oh, you want to
Tell
play
me
Flip
why
7?
this was so popular. I don't know. Anyway, I'm excited to find out. Honestly, we played so many games this weekend that we just did not have time to try it. But I still wanted to tell you that we have this, and someday we will try this. Awesome. So that is all the stuff that we actually picked up and brought home from PAX Unplugged. Now, we did also play a ton of other stuff. There were tons of games going on. We got Lorcana in. There were people playing Star Wars Unlimited.
I loved
tons of
Chronologic, which I tried to pick up from Hachette, but it was sold out. But
Oh yeah,
I
you did
really
have a
loved
ton
that.
of fun playing that. Yeah, so there are tons of other games going on. We actually did get to preview a lot of things that we will be getting in the future. So wanted to share a little bit of that here, starting with Cascadia Junior from AEG.
Howdy, this is Whitney from AEG, and I'm here to show Terror Dice Games all things Cascadia Junior. Cascadia Junior is the newest game in the Cascadia series. It is a new entry-level game to introduce players of all ages to the Cascadia universe with incredibly adorable art from artist Beth Sobel, right? It's the same artist as the original Cascadia. So it plays similarly to the old game, but with a bunch of new components that make your adventure in Cascadia really worthwhile. And I can't wait to get it to your table in March 2025.
So we also got to go to the Asmodee preview, which I was super excited for. They'd never done anything like this. So we got to see some things that are going to be coming out. I think the one that you probably were most excited about is that we got to see El Paso, which is what we talked about, which is the Great Western Trail. It's kind of like mini Great Western Trail, or they were pitching it to us as Great Western Trail to go.
Yeah, it's cut in half. The box size is literally half the box size. It takes up like half the table, maybe a third of the table space. It plays in half the play time. It's super interesting, actually. You've got this kind of like basically circle that you're going around, and it's a deck builder still. There's all those elements, but the thing that's really different is in regular Great Western Trail, you have like your workers, like your carpenters, your cowboys. In this, they're in your deck, so they're cards, and once they're used, they go into your discard, and you can't reuse those workers till they come back out. So that was a pretty interesting new mechanic with Great Western Trail El Paso. We actually got to play a game of it, and yeah, I'm definitely going to pick it up. Very interested.
Yeah, they showed us lots of fun things coming out. We didn't get to play all of it. So if you aren't familiar how like the publishing world works, Asmodee is kind of like a parent company, or has an umbrella for lots of different studios. So there are a bunch of different studios within Asmodee that we got to see that have stuff coming out. One of the ones I was most excited about was that we got to see a sneak peek of Azul Duel, which is a exclusively two-player version of Azul Duel. Now, you got to play several rounds of this.
Okay, so this is super weird because Azul is already like a really good two-player game,
Which is what they told us too. I think we have included it in top 10.
Yes, but it's like actually pretty different.
Another one, they didn't get it over to us to see, but we saw, well, they had one copy of it in a glass box that was really exciting to see. So we talked about Mandalorian Adventures a lot lately, which is like a like where you get to like play out basically the first season of the Mandalorian.
In a dungeon crawler style game.
And they have a new one coming out, which was really exciting to see. New expansion for season 2. So we got a little clip of that in its glass box. We don't know much about it except that it's coming. So that was really exciting. We also saw Shadow Monkey Kingdom. I'll put it, if I got the title wrong, I'll put it right here. But that one I'm really interested in. I got to see a demo of that. There were several other games. So all in all, the Asmodee experience, just to be able to like get like a taste of each of these games, was exciting, and it got me excited for the rest of the year to see what their lineup is going to be.
Now, aside from all of the new games and stuff that we saw, PAX is also a very like people-centric convention for us. This is where we get to see our friends, we get to hang out with other content creators, we get to make a silly Jingle Bells reel.
Welcome to Bark the Halls giveaway week 3. See the description for details, but for now, me and my friends feel like singing a song about it.
Walking through the streets with leashes in our hands.
From every borough, trotting through the land.
Running to the park and dashing down the lane.
Every dog is barking loud and loving this great game.
Oh, Park Avenue, doggy dreams come true.
Walking pubs, collecting tips in New York, it's for you. Hey!
Park Avenue, city fun for two.
And each week in December, now we're giving one to you.
But this is really just a time for us to like spend time playing games. I got a full game of Tapestry in, which made me so happy because I love that game. We also got to like interview Isaac Childress, like the designer of Gloomhaven, which was super fun. Let's put that right here.
All right, so I am here with Isaac, who is the CEO and the designer of Cephalofair Games. So he's designed Gloomhaven, Frosthaven, Jaws of the Lion, all of those amazing categories. We actually just found him. People were showing off their tattoos that they got from Gloomhaven. So super excited to be able to sit and be able to talk to him. So we have loved Gloomhaven. Actually, when Jonathan first brought it up getting it for me, I was like, why are you bringing this giant box into our New York apartment? But COVID had just started, and it actually became like an amazing way for us to get through COVID, which I think a lot of people resonated with that as well for Gloomhaven.
Yeah.
And now
the name of our party was COVID 19 days and counting.
Yes, because it was only 19 days into COVID. And then we're getting ready to start Frosthaven, and then we picked up Jaws of the Lion, which has also been amazing. So what I want to ask you is, so Jaws of the Lion has really like streamlined the Gloomhaven and taken all the amazing parts and really streamlined it. How did you do that, and how did you convince big box stores like Target to take on this big game?
Yeah, in terms of like how we did it, it was definitely a process. I think a lot of effort went into like the tutorial elements of it. You know, just refining those first 5 scenarios, figuring out like, you know, what do we introduce at each one, and how do we, you know, make the rule book like as you know, welcoming as possible, so you can really just sit down and get started playing in as minimum of time as possible. Yeah, and then just spending a lot of time thinking about like, well, yeah, what elements of Gloomhaven are maybe like a little too complicated to include in this game, like summoning, you know, where you really have to have a good understanding of like enemy AI and how that works in order to like make the most use of your summons. So yeah, we kind of removed that and a lot of other elements of Gloomhaven, and just, yeah, we wanted to have it be the same game. Like, so like by the end, or you know, even like 6 or 7 scenarios into Jaws of the Lion, you're playing Gloomhaven. But yeah, like cut out some of the extra stuff around the periphery that makes it like a little more complicated. And then also obviously a big part of it was like shrinking down the box size. Just like making it a less intimidating experience, right? Like you see a giant box of Gloomhaven, or you open the box and it's just like 15 punch boards or 18 punch boards, and you're just like, so yeah. So yeah, just making it like as welcoming to people as possible. And yeah, like in terms of like how we got into a big box store, it's just, it's always surprising to me, even just like because of how intimidating Gloomhaven is, like how ubiquitous it's become in the gaming culture, right? That's just wild to me, like as the designer of like, you all want to play this game? Like I made this game because this is the game I wanted to play, and somehow like everybody else wants to play it too. Like okay, and so it's like, yeah, become just like this pillar of the community in a way.
Yeah.
And even like outside the community, right? Like, I mean, not everybody, but you know, oftentimes, you know, you mention Gloomhaven and they're like, oh yeah, I've heard of that. You know, they may not have played it, but it's kind of like in the larger culture.
Definitely.
To a way that we started to like feel a responsibility there of like, okay, like we're ambassadors of the board gaming hobby, you know, especially like with it being #1 on Board Game Geek. You know, it just became like really important to me that, you know, we wanted to make a game that just, yeah, was more inviting than Gloomhaven was. But we have that backing of like that name recognition to where, yeah, we can take this game and then pitch it to Target and be like, you've heard of Gloomhaven, like here's a version of Gloomhaven that will fit in on your store shelves, you know, price point that people can jump in on, and yeah, I mean they were very interested in getting Gloomhaven into their stores in a way that works for all of us.
Yeah, well I think
so
it was
yeah, sorry.
Just wonderful for the tabletop industry in general to like be able to get like that big hobby-based game into like a big box store. It kind of like broke the walls down for a lot of other, like them being open to those bigger IPs.
Yeah.
Now I want to ask you, so this was your Gloomhaven itself was like your first big design, correct?
It was the second game I published.
Second game you published.
So published.
How? So we talked about how like other people outside the industry are familiar with Gloomhaven. How has your life changed since Gloomhaven came out?
I mean, it's changed completely. Yeah, I mean, I was, you know, just working as a grad student. I graduated from grad school before I really started working on Gloomhaven, but I'd published a game before that while I was in grad school, and yeah, it was just kind of. There was like a year after I graduated where I'm just going to focus on publishing and see if it works. And if it doesn't work, I'll get a real job and move on with my life. But yeah, just the fact that it was able to like support me and like be successful. And I mean, I feel like I have the best job in the world. It's just like designing games and making games in this hobby, which is just so full of wonderful people. And yeah, so just being able to have that job. And then, yeah, just have the security of like starting a family. You know, and now have like a 2.5-year-old son who's just great, and we live in a great place. And I'm just, I'm very happy with my life and where it's gone. That's since amazing. The publishing of Gloomhaven.
That's amazing. I was going to ask as well. So, what does your family think of Gloomhaven? Did they think it was crazy when you started doing it, or are they immediately on board, or how do they feel about the success of the game?
Yeah, I mean, it was a pitch to my wife initially, you know, because basically I was asking her to support me while I played games.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know, just asking her to trust me, like I feel like I have something special here, and you know, just give me the time to bring it to fruition. And
that's awesome.
Yeah, she was on board, and yeah, obviously at the time I didn't have any children or anything, so, and like my parents are like super proud of me. Yeah, everybody's
awesome.
just, yeah,
very cool.
Supportive.
Actually, you had a child like during a campaign or around the time that one of your games was coming out, right?
Yeah, when we were running the backer kit campaign for the Gloomhaven Grand Festival, he was about like 1 at the time, I think.
Very cool.
Yeah, so I had him a year before that.
Yeah,
it was all very hectic.
This will be our second.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
So last question I have for you, for any future designers or designers already, what advice would you want to give them for like motivation, or what's something that you wish that you knew before you started designing?
I don't know, it's kind of a, like in hindsight, like, because everything worked out so perfectly for me, it's like, I don't know, but like, I would say, the thing I still wish that I would know, that I knew, is just like how much work like publishing is. You know, because like when you design a game and you have the options of like Kickstarter and like, oh, I could try to self-publish this. It's just a lot more work than you think it is. And so, yeah, I mean, seriously consider, if you're a designer, to, you know, just pitch your game to other publishers who have the experience of publishing games. Because if you try to do it yourself, it's going to be a whole long road that's going to be very bumpy and full of lots and lots of work. So yeah, if you're trying to do it yourself, it's pretty overwhelming. So either, I would suggest like finding maybe some people who could help you with that.
Cool.
Either another publisher or just like, you know, other people who want to come in with you on like the self-publishing side of it. Yeah, teamwork.
Well, thank you so much, and best of luck with everything.
So I mean, like, we got to do so many cool things. I just really love this convention. Had a whole lot of fun.
So if you've been thinking about going to a board game convention and you're in the area, or in the Northeast area, or we had people from fly all over. There's actually a lot of people from Europe that come to this one just because it's easier to get to than Indianapolis. But if you're nervous of crowds or stuff like that, but you still really want to go, I would say PAX Unplugged is the one to go to if you still want to get all of the experience with all the big publishers there and the atmosphere and the events, but don't want all the super crowded and a space if you need it, then PAX Unplugged is going to be your best bet. And it's always fun because it's around Christmas time, so everyone's in the holiday spirit and everyone's very kind. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, if you like this content, if you can subscribe to our channel, we'd really appreciate it. You guys make us keep going, so the more subscribers we have, the more videos we want to put out, and we're always going to play games, and if we can share those with you guys and help that along, that's just all the better. But thank you guys so much. I hope you have a wonderful holiday season, whatever you're doing, and I hope you get to play some great games. And we'll see you next time. Happy playing!